Hey everybody, how's it going? Chaos Curve here. We are talking about sprites. We've got all the sprites in the game. We're going to rank them, and we're going to tell you all about every single attribute that they've got that helps you in your game and when you should use which one. Before we get into the individual sprites, if you get just the basic sprite and it's not gold or it's not rare versions of it, then it's going to give you an effect. And those effects are different for each sprite, and we're going to get into that. But if you've got a gold sprite, not only is it going to give you the basic effect, but it's also going to give you 3 times XP when you make an elimination. If you've got a gummy sprite, awesome. That's going to give you 20% sprite dust on your extractions. And if you have a galaxy, not only does it make you a target to other players because you're carrying around a rare sprite, but it does give you a 30% more ammo every time you open one of those ammo crates. So let's dive into it. Each one of these sprites is unique. Tell me what your favorite sprite is in the comments. Here we go, water sprite. Now, you're going to get shields every time that you're standing in water. So depending on how leveled up that water sprite is, you're going to get 2 all the way up to 6 shields per tick. So that's like 6 shields a second. This guy's great to have on your back, and he's great if you're going to play edge of the map or if you're going to play around the areas that have a lot of water or a lot of ponds or pools. These are really great sprites to have. I would rate it about a 6 out of 10 because I think we can do better. All right. Next up is the Earth Sprite. Now, if you have a chance to find these guys, you're going to find a bunch of rare items every time you open a chest. So there's a 10% chance right off the hop with the level 1 Earth Sprite that you're going to find something great in the chest that you're looting. And it goes all the way up to 20% chance if you've got a level 5 Earth Sprite. Again, that's just the base. If you've got a gold variant, a gummy variant, or a galaxy variant, these guys can be very handy when you're looting. You combine this with the galaxy, and you have not only extra great items, but you've also got extra ammo. This guy's great if you're a loot. If you're a loot goblin, and you know you are, you're gonna love these guys because it's gonna give you maximum out of the chests as well as out of those ammo boxes. Very good to have if you find yourself running out of ammo during a match. Strap one of these on your back and you're good to go. Next up is the Fire Sprite. The Fire Sprite creates a fiery burst when you deal damage to your enemies. Now this is going to be 150 damage, starting at 120 all the way up, and that's going to be a good thing to do. So it's going to create a blast of fire. This one, not so great because it's just a fiery burst and then it's gone. If you're shooting someone on the run, they're going to move away from the fire explosion that's happening and not really going to help you too much. So the Fire Sprite, I like the look of him. He looks mean. He looks like he's had a bad day. But you know what? I'm going to rate him about a 5 out of 10. We can do better. Next up is the Duck Sprite. Now the Duck Sprite is a little bit better than the water sprite because it's going to replenish your shields. So the duck sprite, when you dance or you jam out, you are going to get shields. So the higher the level of your duck sprite, the more shields you're going to get. Up to 8 shields per tick on the duck sprite. So I would say if you are someone who likes to do a lot of 1v1s, if you like to go 50-50 on people, the Duck Sprite's a great way to get some of those shields back and get you back into the next battle. All you got to do is jam out, and that's what Fortnite's kind of all about. All right, next up is the Ghost Sprite. Now, the Ghost Sprite is probably one of the best sprites because, especially if you're one that gets to the end game, it gives you cloaking while you're reloading. So this gives you a visual advantage because people are looking for you, and if you're at kind of the end game and it's just you and a couple other people, having the ability to disappear off the map for a couple seconds, amazing. So 3 seconds for a level 1 Ghost Sprite, but if you've got a level 5 Ghost Sprite, you're going to disappear for up to 5 seconds while you're reloading. So this gives you an advantage when you run out of bullets in your gun so that you don't have to hide or build cover if you're playing builds. 8 out of 10. Next up, the Dream Sprite. Now, the Dream Sprite grants a random item at each level. And then, if you get the Dream Sprite to level 5, not only does it self-extract, but it explodes and it gives you a loot pile. So as you get it to level 5, it'll explode, disappear, be taken out of the game, and be saved for you in your sprite list, and it'll drop you some valuable loot. The Dream Sprite has to be one of the best sprites in the game. It's kind of a sleeper hit, no pun intended, but it is pretty good. Next up is the Demon Sprite. Now, Demon Sprite is great if you are a battler. If you're always in a fight, this one's good because it's going to siphon some health and shields when you eliminate an opponent. So if you're making a lot of elims, the Demon Sprite's probably the one you want to have on your back during the battle. Now, you're going to get 10 healing on a level 1 Demon Sprite, but all the way up to 30 healing per elimination siphoned off of the person that you have vanquished. So the Demon Sprite, really good to carry, but only if you're running and gunning. So take that into account. If you're more of a camper, this probably isn't the sprite for you. Maybe get something like the Water Sprite or something like that. I would say probably a solid 7.5 out of 10. Next up is the Punk Sprite. Now, the Punk Sprite, it possibly nothing or infinitely something. I haven't figured out what the Punk Sprite actually does for you, but I've got an expert with me here. Here's
the Punk Sprite is probably the worst sprite in the game, I would say, at least in my opinion.
Oh!
Because the thing possibly nothing or infinitely something, it means from levels 1 to 4, it has no effect. It does absolutely nothing on your back, doesn't increase your health, doesn't increase your chances of doing anything. But once you get to level 5, you have a chance to get infinite ammo. Number 1, it's only a chance to get infinite ammo. And number 2, infinite ammo is not very good. It's not worth the legendary tag, I think. Just because, there's a lot of sprites like Earth One will help you get more ammo, and, there's a lot of other sprites that will help you get loot. But this one's just definitely not worth taking. Definitely gonna leave this one in my collection.
Yeah, okay. Just leave it and maybe don't use that one. I didn't know what it did because I haven't played with it at level 5 for very long, so I guess I didn't get anything. So
and even if you did have
possibly
level
nothing.
5, there's a chance that you played with it and you didn't get the infinite ammo.
And I wouldn't normally know that because I'm kind of a loot goblin, so I always have pretty much full ammo all the time from about mid-game on. So maybe not that useful. I think this is probably going to be the lowest ranking ever. I'm going to give it about 3 out of 10. Next up is the King Sprite. The King Sprite, your pickaxe does more damage. Now, if you are someone who gets really close to the enemy and you're doing fights, or you're doing build battles where you need to take walls down immediately, changing up how much your pickaxe damage is will really mess with your opponents, especially if you're into the build battles, because they'll expect you to have to hit their wall a couple of times, whereas if you have your King Sprite at level 5, you're going to get 120 bonus damage on your pickaxe. That's above and beyond what your pickaxe already does. So this one could be very valuable if you're into the build battles and if you're into harvesting materials. But if you're a zero builder, this one's probably not going to be the one for you. I'm going to give it like a 5 out of 10. I'm not really a build battle guy. I will build a little bit, but that's not really where my confrontations come. So I'm just going to leave it 5 out of 10. Next up is Burnt Peanut. Now, when eliminating players, you may find more loot, and sometimes you'll find some mythics. So the chance is a 20% chance that you're going to get a mythic, all the way up to a 60% chance if you've got this Burnt Peanut at level 5. You can find it in relic chests. Um, I don't know. It's pretty hard to find, and having items that are mythic is really great. So it is kind of a good one to carry, although I think there's some more that have like practical use throughout. If you're a good looter, you may not need that level of loot, but if you are looking to run the perfect game and run the meta, then maybe you're going to bring this mythic along because it's a mythic sprite, and it's going to give you mythic loot. I'm going to say probably. I always do a lot of looting, so having some good loot pop up isn't super important for me. But if you're the one that needs like a specific gun or something, again, it's random loot. So, I'll give it. We'll give it a 6 out of 10. All right. Next up is the 0 point sprite. Now this one is the hardest one to find. I still haven't found mine yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try until I can find it. What it does is it spawns a shield bubble junior when you're using a healing item on yourself. Not splashes and not grenades, but it does, cover you for 6 seconds, up to 10 seconds if it's a level 5 0 point sprite. So that coupled with some of the other aspects that you can get with the higher rarities of the 0 point sprite makes it really good if you are needing some cover while you're healing up. So if you're one of those people that needs a little bit extra help, a little bit extra cover, this one's good. If you're running squads, you might already have some cover. If you're running builds, you're probably building yourself some cover, so it may not be as useful for squads and builds. But if you are running and gunning by yourself and you're in 0 builds, this guy could be very helpful for you. Again, not really my jam, but I'll give it a 6.5 just because, hey, who doesn't like a good shield every once in a while? Next up is the fishy sprite. The fishy sprite, your swimming speed is greatly increased. Your taking damage also briefly increases your movement speed. So if you do get hit, you get to move more quickly, and that just lasts for just a moment. You get 10% movement speed and a 25% swim speed upgrade with just the fishy sprite, all the way up to the level 5 fishy sprite. That's going to give you a double swim speed and 50% more movement speed bonus just for having that sprite on your back. So fishy sprite's good because if you are getting hit a lot, it does help you get away. If you play in the areas that have a lot of water, like ponds and pools, as well as going up and down the rivers, this is a good option for you. Get you some extra speed swimming around. So take that what you will. I think it's probably, for me, it's going to be like I don't really do too much swimming, so I'm going to say it's like a 5 out of 10. Like, it's a good idea, and I think the movement speed bonuses, if you get hit, that's when you need speed, is to get away so that you can heal up and then come back. So fishy sprite, probably 5 out of 10. Next up is the striker sprite. You gain the overdrive effect when you mantle, hurdle, or wall scramble. And your duration of how long that overdrive is going to expand depending on the level of the striker sprite that you've got. So you start with 6 seconds of overdrive after you mantle. So this is pretty good because this one's going to give you that increased movement speed, and it's going to give you a little bit more if you have a level 5 striker sprite. That's going to give you 10 seconds of overdrive. Again, not too much of a variation between like the level 1 striker sprite and the level 5 striker sprite. It's only 4 seconds difference of the overdrive, but it can make the difference if you're doing build battles or if you're in playing more like a tilted towers type map. If you're in the more urban environments where you're going through windows and doors and over railings, that's going to help you. Overall, the mantling, something that you're doing all the time anyways, so you gain a little extra speed and a little bit of overdrive effect. So that's kind of cool. He's not hard to find either, because if you go to the soccer field, you just need to kick in a goal and you can get this sprite every single game. Because it's not limited to like a water location and you can hurdle over like walls and fences, I think I'll give this one a 7. A solid 7 for the striker sprite. Next up is the aura sprite. You gain a shock rock charge when you deal enough damage to enemies. Now, this one is probably one of the low key rope-a-dope specials. So if you're getting a lot of damage with enemies, if you're engaging, if you're having fights and you're, 50-50ing, having that shock rock charge to be able to just like dash while you're in a battle, this is a very key thing. It's free movement and it recharges over time because as you damage more enemies, you can accrue these shock rock charges. So you start with 175 damage you have to get in order to get your first shock rock charge. After that, it goes down by 25 damage until for the level 5 or a sprite, you only need 75 damage to trigger that shock rock charge. So this one really gets you out from the camping and gets you out from the bushes and gets you into the playing field and dealing damage. I think the Aura Sprite's going in the right direction. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 just because mobility is key in all your games and in all your battles. 8 out of 10. Next up is the Boss Sprite. Now this is going to increase your max HP and shield. So if you have defeated a boss, they're going to leave behind a Boss Sprite in this season. So it's going to be something that you want to pick up. Now you're going to get 5 HP and shield for a level 1 boss sprite, but if you level this boss sprite up to the level 5, you're going to get 25 HP and 25 extra shields. I cannot stress this enough. This is a huge advantage. So if you're in there dealing damage and you're fighting someone and you're 50-50ing someone and you've got 25 extra hit points and 25 extra shield, you're going to have a huge advantage over the other player. So I don't know. I'm going to say this one's pretty high. What do you think, Magnus?
9.5 out of 10. It's really good. Look, it's a good passive. It's a good, sprite. It's really easy to get because all you need to do is kill a boss, even though it's like a legendary rarity. But it is probably, I would say, the best legendary in the game.
So,
and one of the best sprites.
I'm going to agree with you. Having extra heals, health points, and shield is good so fundamental. Yeah, you can't go wrong with extra health and extra shields, especially when you get surprised or somebody jumps you or they get the first hit. Then you can actually still stand your ground and make those battles work in your favor. Especially if you've got this boss sprite at level 5, that's going to give you 25 hit points and 25 shield for a total of 50. So that's a body shot with a shotgun. Like that's a huge difference. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for this one. What you said 9.5?
Yeah.
9.5, Magnus. That's huge. All right. Okay, next up is the Grim Sprite. Now, I personally haven't found this guy yet, so but the Grim Sprite, the players who attack you are marked for a duration. So if someone attacks you and you spin around and they're hiding in a bush, they're marked so you can see them. Now, if you've got a level 1 Grim Sprite, this effect is going to last for 3 seconds. And if you have a level 5 Grim Sprite, this is going to last for 5 seconds. There's not too much differentiation between like 2 extra seconds if you've got a level 5 Grim Sprite versus a level 1 Grim Sprite. But I think the idea of them being marked is going to put a little bit of fear into them because now not only are you know that you were hit, but you know where they are and they've given away their element of surprise if they are hiding or if they are camping or if they're like far off sniping you. So you are going to be able to see where they're at. I think that's a very valuable tool. If you're again into the build battles and you're like really close quarters and your fight style is very up close and personal, the Grim Sprite may not give you that advantage, but it will let you know if somebody's sniping you from far. What do you think, Magnus, on this last one?
I think, in my opinion, it's like a 3 or a 4 out of 10. Just because, the effect is good, but I feel like it could be definitely a rare or epic sprite. I think because it's mythic, it's just too rare to have such a bad effect. Like, the effect is good, but I think like if you're good enough at the game, you'll have enough game sense to know, oh, someone's shooting at me, and then you'll know where they're shooting you from. So you don't really need that mark effect,
Yeah.
and it's better just to take another sprite that can offer you, like the boss sprite. You have more HP, which is
Mm.
going to be useful in a lot more situations than, someone marking you. Like a lot of time when someone shoots you, you know where they are, so it's kind of just
Mm. Yeah.
not really doing much.
Maybe for like a beginner player where they're working on their game sense and they're trying to get a feel for like where things happened from.
Yeah.
And if you're playing a little bit further out game, if you're, that could help. But I'm with you, Magnus. I think this one's not as useful as a mythic should be. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna, just because of that, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Although I do like, there are a couple other items in the game currently that allow you to mark other players.
Yeah, a flare gun, like you can just
Flare
take
gun.
one inventory slot to mark a flare gun, and they don't even need to shoot you for you to know where they are.
Pulse scanner, and there's also an NPC that you can up in Latte Landing where you can hire her and she'll follow you around, the DJ, and she will do the scanning for you. I think there's a lot of other options for this kind of buff. I think there's probably better choices,
Yeah.
but the Grim Sprite, I gotta say, it is one of the coolest looking sprites.
Yeah.
So I love the hoodie and I love the little lock and then the skull face. Digging it. That's it. That's it for sprites. I think we've gone through them all. Tell me what your favorite sprite is in the comments, and tell me if I think I got if you got something wrong. Like if I totally misjudged one of these sprites and I should give them a higher ranking. You let me know in the comments below, and we'll check back in. All right. Have yourselves a great day. Thanks for sticking to the end. Peace out. Stay ahead of the curve, the chaos curve. Happy spriting.